uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it. So welcome back to the channel. I'm Bushka, and today's video is all about ranking the SMGs. We're going to be doing it with Conqueror, this is number 1, Ace, Potato, Hot Drop, and Delete. These are the rankings for the weapons, and they're going to slot somewhere in this tier list. We've done these before for all kinds of weapons. If you like them, make sure you leave a like and a comment, share them with your buddies, and if you want them done for other styles of weapons, let me know. Anyway, let's kick this off. But I'm going to be doing these weapons sight unseen. In other words, I've done all the research, I know all the stats, but I haven't ranked them previously. I'm going to show some footage while I do this, and that'll be all well and good. This is as of 1st of September 2022. Spring has sprung. I'm going to start with the Uzi. Now, the Uzi is particularly nostalgic in terms of PUBG Mobile because it was the first vanilla CQC weapon in the game. Everyone and their dog used to run Uzi M416, Uzi M416, Uzi M416. It's had a couple of cosmetic buffs that have really helped it. It was not originally able to mount a red dot. It can do that now, and it's always performed, and it's never really changed. It's the fastest firing of the SMGs, which is saying something. I'm gonna do rounds per minute, right? For you guys and girls at home who understand that. There have been people whinging and moaning at me. I don't use rounds per minute when I'm assessing these things, but it just makes it easier for you. And if you don't like it, let me know, and we'll go back to the rate of fire, which is around every 0.046 seconds. 1,304 rounds per minute is the fastest firing SMG in the game. Its base damage is predictably low at 26.1, and one of the big problems you run into with the Uzi is that it's both not very versatile. You can't use it out to range. It only mounts a red dot at best, and if they are moving laterally, like left to right, the Uzi is absolutely rubbish. It's also got very, very poor bullet speed at about 350 meters a second, and its lack of big alpha strike means you've got to hit a lot of rounds to drop a target. If they're wearing a level 2 vest, you've got to hit, 7 rounds to drop a target into the level 2 vest, which means at range, you've got to hit an awful lot with an Uzi, and it's very, very difficult. As a CQC weapon, it's outstanding. Its lack of recoil, even in hip fire, means despite the fact that you can't mount a compensator or anything on it, it still absolutely rocks and socks. So I'm going to put that in Ace because it is unequivocally an outstanding CQC weapon that is so easy to run, not very versatile, but does work very, very well. So moving onwards, let's do the P90. Now the P90... the P90, a lot of people don't realize this, has been buffed and then buffed again to the point now where it's an outstanding weapon. The time to kill of the Uzi was 0.276. The P90's time to kill is 0.285. Now, 0.285 is actually on the high side for an SMG, but they're all within about 20% of each other, apart from one outlier, which is the Bison, which is nowhere near that 20% of each other. Well, it is actually. It's right on the end of that scale, but it's not close. 0.285 seconds into a level 2 vest for the P90 now because its rate of fire is 1,053 rounds a minute. That is a very, very big advance on where it was originally, which is about, I think about 800, 900 rounds a minute. And that's given it the ability to knock targets head over, arse over, tea kettle. Its big drawback, I don't like the scope on it, the sights. The iron sights on the P90 are actually horrific, and it's not accurate at all at range when you start using the iron sights. Unlike something like an Uzi or a Bison or a UMP, the iron sights don't really give you any idea on what the hell's going on. It does work with a 3X, and its versatility in being able to mount scopes means it keeps up with the Uzi in that regard, but it doesn't really do anything amazingly well. Its one big positive is that it starts at a baseline of 50 rounds in a clip. And having a baseline of 50 rounds in a clip is actually very important when you're in gunfights. So although I'd love to put it up the Ace, I think it's more Potato. Now, Potato is your average. This is marking on a C. So a C is a pass. And it's a solid weapon, but it doesn't really excel. It is very good in solo squads on Livic because you have so many rounds. It really helps you get across the finishing line. Let's have a look now at the MP5K. Now, this is a weapon that is sadly super hard to use because it is only on Karakin and Vikendi, and no one is really playing Vikendi, and Karakin's just a pain in the ass. It's so small and so sweaty. The MP5K is everything you want in a weapon. Its base damage is 34.4, which is actually middle of the road for the SMGs. The top end base damage is 43.0, that's a Tommy gun, and the bottom is 26.1, which is the Uzi. Its time to kill a level 2 vest is electric, 0.256. That is very, very, very good. It doesn't have any recoil, so to speak, and is 9mm. Its rate of fire at 938 rounds a minute means you don't waste as much ammo as you do, say, with a Vector or an Uzi, where to get a kill you'll sometimes use twice the amount of ammo you need to with an Uzi or a Vector, just because it's so fast firing. That's not the case with the MP5K. You can mount a tac stock, you can mount an extended magazine, and you can also mount like scopes, a lower rail attachment like an angled or a vertical foregrip, and it's absolutely sensational. I'm going to put it in Conqueror. A lot of people don't understand just how good this weapon is, but it is lightning quick. It is 34.4 base and 20.64 into a level 2 vest. Now that's important because it's a number that hits a break point. It means that, say, a Bison, for instance, 21.96 into a level 2 vest. It has to hit a level 2 vest 5 times. The MP5K has to hit a level 2 vest 5 times to clear it. The MP5K fires at 938 rounds a minute, and the Bison fires at 800. Those breakpoints are very, very important in PUBG Mobile. We don't talk about them enough. So it's a versatile weapon that can mount scopes, it can mount suppressors, it can mount lower rail and compensators and attack stock. So yeah, MP5K for me is absolutely 100% top shelf. The Vector. Some big knocks against the Vector. Big knocks. And we've got to be honest about this. If you are running a Vector and you're on a hot drop, you've got to find an extended quick draw magazine, because the thing is the fastest firing gun in PUBG Mobile, just about 1,154 rounds a minute. That is just a shade under an Uzi's rate of fire. And it means that with 13 rounds in the clip, you will just blow through your ammo so quick. And if you're on a hot drop, it is brutal. If you get an extended quick draw mag and you've got a weapon on a switch, the Vector can be very, very effective. I use it often and enjoy it and really love running it, but it is, to be honest, it's a very, very dicey thing when it comes to it if you're using it on the hot drop. Apart from that, though, exactly like the MP5K, it can mount all those attachments. It has an outstanding rate of fire. It has an outstanding time to kill of 0.26, which is just behind the MP5K and, and just above the Uzi. It's actually a faster time to kill than an Uzi. And because of that, I'm going to pop it into Ace. Its bullet speed is 384 meters per second, which is the same as the MP5K, and that's as fast as it gets for SMGs. In comparison, like an AKM, which is not the fastest AR in terms of bullet speed, is 750 meters a second, and that affects your accuracy out to range. You might not have any recoil, but you sure as hell don't have any bullet speed. Okay, where are we now? The Bison. This previously would have been rated here on hot drop only, or possibly even delete. What they did to improve the Bison was just buffed the ass out of the rate of fire. It went from having a 0.89 seconds per round rate of fire, the same as the Tommy gun, but with a much lower base damage of 36.6 versus 43.0, to having a 0.75 or 800 rounds a minute, up from 674 rounds a minute. That means that its time to kill is at 0.3. Now, the Bison is so interesting. If you're running solos, the Bison is actually a lot better than it is in a squad situation. In a solo situation, the Bison allows you to mount a suppressor, and you get this weird kind of VSS vibe with it, where it has 50 rounds, 53 rounds, whatever that stupid number is. And you can tap fire with a Bison and a 6X and do really sweaty bollocks. Unfortunately, it's not what we'd say is a versatile thing for squads. In squads, it's good on a Switch, but as a primary weapon, it's much improved, but it's not even close. Like 0.3 seconds for a Bison's time to kill versus 0.26 for the Vector, 0.255 for the UMP, 0.267 for the Tommy gun, 0.256 for the MP5K, 0.276 for the Uzi, 0.285 for the P90 is the next highest. And then you got the Bison, another bunch above that. So well done for it, for being improved up to the round of pass, but it's definitely not there yet. Tommy gun. There's only a couple of things holding the Tommy gun back. It has that outstanding large magazine like the Bison and the P90, but it doesn't have the ability to mount any kind of scope apart from a red dot or a holographic. And that means that you are really limited just to CQC. Now, I'm not saying that those other guns are good at being anything other than CQC, but what they have is the ability to, in a pinch, allow you to use a 3-scope or a 4-scope on them. So if you don't have any other options, they become viable. They help you. That's a real asset. The Tommy gun makes up for that with the biggest killing power in the game in terms of, you know, if you're fighting with a Tommy gun, you have a 43 base round, but you can get 50 of them, which is pretty freaking massive. That is an awful lot of mud to throw at the wall. And that means you quite often be able to have a Tommy gun and an M4 on a Switch, and that means you've got like enough to easily wipe a couple of squads. Not that you're going to do it, but it just means you don't have to hit that reload. And it's so fast for a weapon that has a 43 base reload that it has an outstanding time to kill, very, very low bullet speed, as is the rest of them, and can only put a suppressor on the end of it. So very limited. I'm going to put it in ace because it's, as a CQC weapon, it's outstanding. But it doesn't have the versatility to drive it to the Conqueror level like a MP5K. Finally, we're going to talk about the UMP. It hasn't been nerfed. It's not really been screwed at all. Its recoil, we all know, its recoil is complete BS. It doesn't have any. Yet it has a 42.8 damage round. It can mount a 3X, a red dot, a 2X, a 4X. It can mount a lower rail attachment, anything you like. It can, you know, do an awful lot of good. And yet it still does these weird things where you get killed by a UMP and it feels like you're getting one shot. It's such an odd weapon, and it's definitely still Conqueror tier. Now, it used to be, without a doubt, the best in PUBG Mobile in terms of CQC for an SMG. I think it's right up there now. And even Stevens with the MP5K, I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think we've got to be honest about ourselves and where we are in the world, and that the MP5K and the UMP are both just about even Stevens. They both have crap bullet speed. The UMPs is ever so slightly under the MP5Ks, 365 meters a second versus 384, but it's like 8%, 6%. It's not a lot. And with the way the UMP performs, I've never been able to figure it out, but it does feel very much like it outperforms its stats, which is scary because its stats are 0.255 time to kill, which is freaking crazy good, and is the best and fastest time to kill of any SMG in PUBG Mobile. And with 705 rounds a minute and that 0.255 time to kill, the recoil never gets tough. Like, you're not firing a big round, 1,300 rounds a minute, which would send your recoil everywhere. You're firing a very, very light 45 caliber round, and it works. It works a treat. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you liked it, we can do some more ranking videos in the future. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like the videos. Remember to be good to your mum, eat your veggies, and walk the dog. And until next time, bye for now.